Good afternoon. Welcome to 2024. My name's Joe Bandel, and I am the last Rosicrucian. I've been off the air for a few weeks because I was in New York visiting my daughter, who just had twins. Um, Everybody's doing fine now. Uh, so anyway, uh, now that I'm back, I thought I would kind of catch up. This year has really been some things happening that I thought I'd share. Now, I've mentioned many times on my blog posts or my videos, uh, I don't channel entities or anything like that. What I do is I'm active on the lower levels, and it's just my direct perception of what's going on and my analysis of what's going on. Probably one of the big things, that I deal with is dreams and lucid dreams. Now, the subject or the topic, the title of this video is going to be my soul group. And I'm hoping to just kind of share a few things for what it's worth. Because I've been posting about Gaia's ascension. And there's some changes happening inside me, some changes that are directly affecting. It's kind of like, well, where do I go from here? What am I going to be doing? It seems like I'm leaving there's things that I've done and they're finished, completed. It's time to leave them behind. There's other things that are waiting for me. I have to figure out what those things are. And do that in the context of my soul group, in the context of Gaia's ascension and all that stuff. And what seems to have happened over the last couple months for me is really a closure and a final graduation of things where revisiting all the old things and just put closure on it. Visiting my daughter was one of those things that was very profound. So I have this sense of heading into a fresh start, a new life, a new beginning. And in a way it's pretty exciting. In another way, it's like, okay, I still gotta kind of figure that out. But all this ties in with my soul group. Well, it was a few days before I went to New York, I had this dream of kind of like wrestling in play or whatever, in good natured play, with this guy that, as you know, in dreams, sometimes it's hard to tell who they are. But it was like a good natured, just wrestling around type of thing, giving them a bad time because he was trying to give me a bad time. But it was all good natured, and we turned out to be real good buddies. It was after I went to visit my daughter and her husband that I realized that dream was about my connection with her husband, who is very active on the etheric plane, because that's where this dream took place. And I was on the etheric plane. Now, there's a few things that are significant about this dream. One of them being that for most of my life, dreams that have taken place on the lower planes have been either sexual with females, or they've been adversarial with males. And it is very rare to have kind of a supporting, good-natured connection with things. Another thing that I noticed was that in my dreams, at whatever level they were taking place, if it was a duel, if it was an astral battle, a lot of times the battle would happen and then the other person would disappear and it would be over. Or I would wake up, something like that. Well, gradually, so I guess what I'm trying to say is that, so those dreams, there was a connection, or a adversarial connection. There was a connection that was made, an attempt was made, an attack or whatever. Excuse me. That did not succeed on their part, and life goes on. However, later, it seems like, and I'm looking back over 30, 40 years of these type of experiences, I found that there was more what you call lucid dreaming, that where you're kind of in a dream and you know that you're in a dream and you go around wondering what's going on and this and that. And maybe there's not a focus for the energy particularly. Whereas the other ones I was talking about, there's kind of like a focus. As soon as the energy is zapped away, the dream goes, because that's the end of it. So lucid dreams, they're kind of more free-flowing, and unrestricted that way. Well, this dream with who turned out to be my son-in-law, and that kind of roughhousing or whatever, playing around, that was one of those things that it was like it never really happened before. So I'd gone from different stages in my etheric work in these things to where it was becoming much more ordinary, I guess, to where it was much more natural. And the interesting thing was that, okay, this was obviously on the etheric plane or whatever, but my son-in-law and my daughter, they happen to be atheists. They don't have a spiritual bone in their body that they recognize or that they would say they have. So they're strict materialists, and they're doing well, that kind of thing. So they're very strong at the root chakra level. And I looked at that and I'm thinking, okay, what's really happening here? And I thought over the spectrum, the full spectrum of 40 years or so here, what's been going on. These etheric level or low level connections, I've had lots and lots of astral conflicts that I never asked for. Some I maybe provoked a little bit unwittingly or whatever, but what I can tell you is there's a lot of people that are strong on the etheric planes. By a lot, I don't have a number for it, but I can say that based on the dreams that I had there, there's a lot of people that kind of, they're there, and they're interacting. And there are entities or people there that are allies to me, and there are people that are, or entities that are adversarial to me. And that's the main point that I want to say about this is not imagination. There are people out there that are magical. They're occultists. They are powerful. And they can mess with people if you don't protect yourself. They're powerful at the root chakra level. You talk about all these people that are talking the heart chakra, or they're talking the crown chakra, or they're talking whatever like that, the third eye center. That's all high end stuff. And there's people that exist there too. In fact, my soul group is unique in that we can tap into the highest level energies that are above the crown chakra and the earth, the lowest earth energies, the womb of creation energies, both. My soul group can span the whole spectrum. And as far as I know, we are the only group that can do this. And there's a story for that. The story is that we are the fallen angels that have returned to the light. We've been redeemed. We've brought life itself, that we've anchored ourselves to the vital life force of earth, the womb of creation, and we've lifted that up to the light. That's what we've done. We have brought earth up through the ascension process. That's what my soul group has done. And all these other soul groups, they're kind of like hooked to the earth, the womb of creation energies, the magical energies, or they're hooked to the spiritual light energies, but they can't really bridge the complete aspect of it. But my soul group can. One of the characteristics about my soul group is there's a dark element. The dark element is, well, the black flame, I guess. It's not that it's evil, it's not that it's anything bad or anything like that, but we have experienced, each one of us that belongs to this soul group, we have experienced the best and the worst that human life has to offer, and participated in that. And it has marked us, and we have integrated it. We have accepted it. We are human, and we see ourselves as human. We don't see ourselves as super good or super bad or super evil or anything like that. We just recognize that there's a dark element to each of us, and it calls out. It's why I've been drawn to translating the stories like Hans-Heinz Ewers and Karl-Heinz Strobel, some of this Edgar Allan Poe type energy, because it resonates to that darker place inside of us. But it also resonates to that spirituality, that divine light. So that's my soul group. It's a small soul group. There's not a lot of people there. But each one that belongs there is very, very powerful in their own right. And there's no formal system. It's just who belongs, who's called to that circle. And in my meditations, my group portal meditations, when you do those group portal meditations, you're visualizing other members, other people in the circle. Those are members of my soul group, your soul group as well. And it is very powerful to join forces with them, because that's really how you advance and straighten out a lot of the things that need to be straightened out that way. Because we help each other out. That's all it is. And from what I gather, uh, I have gone through a path. First, there was the mystical path that was with the Rosicrucians that led me to cross the Great Abyss into Source. And then there was a soul reversal type thing where I was drawn back to the earth. I came back down, bringing the light with me, trying to anchor that ascension light to Earth's core. And doing a healing process that way and activating one by one these astral bodies or the etheric body finally. And it's increasingly clear just this year. It's like I had the distinct feeling that who I am is separate from my physical body. It's like I'm solid and complete, and I'm also in a physical body at the same time. And, now it's time to maybe polish up that physical body a little bit. Kind of bring it into alignment more with the rest of me. So that's something that's really kind of neat. Another thing that I've been really wondering about is like, should I keep doing a lot of posts on this stuff? Organic Gnosticism, the oak material, things like that. And I don't know yet. There may be some. I'll bring it out once in a while, but it's kind of like I shared everything that I have to share. I share what allowed me to begin the process of soul development and to complete the process of soul development, to go all the way through. Anything else that I have to share would just be superfluous. It doesn't. It's not that important, because what's important is that soul development, as I understand it, is strictly a mechanical thing. It happens because of repeatedly rupturing the astral planes through the generation of personal energy of one type or another. And it happens in a mechanical way without any special tradition, without any special techniques, any of that kind of stuff. It's driven by personal effort. It can be smoothed out through the meditations. The meditations are very, very empowering. I never realized just how empowering they are. But part of that comes from that aspect of valid occult traditions would have a higher order member doing like leading a trance or a vision quest or something like that to guide. They'd put you in an altered state because it was too difficult for you to do it all by yourself. By doing these recorded meditations, you can, it's possible to do away with that other person because you're listening to your own voice, and building these meditations the way that is meaningful for you. So I've even shared about those things. So it's really, there's not really much more to share that that I can think of. Uh, but what is where I'm still drawn is my stories, my translation things, maybe even some personal writing. Um, these stories that I'm translating, you can't find literature like that written today. Why can't you find literature like that today? Because today everybody's living in their heads. This literature comes out of something that's so solidly anchored in the earth that they have a name for it, which is called blood and soil literature. It's about your connection to the earth, your blood connection to the earth. And we don't have that today, but we need it. It's about the root chakra energy. So these stories by these authors are authors that have very strong root connections, and they were strong on the etheric planes. That's why they have some of these aspects that are so attractive to certain people. Anyway, that's pretty much what I wanted to say is I'm thinking that I'm going to be concentrating, focusing more on translating stories just because I get pleasure out of these stories and because these stories are useful. They're useful and they're needed because they're literature that is anchored in the earth in a way that is incredibly difficult to find in today's world, where everything is the heart level or the head level or whatever. You know, they don't really, it doesn't really strike you the same way. And because they're tainted is not the right word, because tainted is a negative connotation. Excuse me. But they have a dark aspect to them that resonates to an old soul that has experienced some of the darker sides of life. And it just feels comfortable like an old blanket. That's all I can say. And that's my soul group. So until next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye.